Catacombs. We're gonna play some shots fired by a chest, parentheses, monotone. Good morning, Spikelings. It is a pleasure to share my day with you. I'm the MTGO user known as Aspiring Spike, and this is my Shark Typhoon. Today, I will be playing a deck of my own design, Jund Saga, Sans Luris, in the Moto Modern Leagues. I hope it brings us success. I further hope that you will enjoy the gameplay, and if you don't mind, follow, like, turn on notifications, subscribe, buy a CFB Pro Plus subscription, and interact with other stream viewers. Thank you. Super called out for the monotone. We're gonna play some Jund Saga today. No Luris. We've been playing some other red black X variants lately, and this is definitely one I feel is pretty underexplored at the moment. I feel like I made a lot of pretty safe calls. I do think that Liliana really shines when you're playing 4 copies of Wrenn and Six. Seasoned Pyromancer are also great. You know, nothing too crazy going on here, to be honest. The mono red 8th grid deck's been going pretty good so far. Yeah, this deck is not cheap. I had to buy Ragavans. Yeah, it was a good nudge at chest. Yeah, deck is super expensive, but I have pretty high hopes for it. I think it looks pretty good. Obviously, I'm not usually of the opinion that Saga is that powerful if you're not playing either a way to recur with Wrenn and Six, which this deck is, or like a super synergic card to tutor for, but this does give you a lot of late game grindy value, makes you really good against the other red black X decks, gives you a lot of extra value against graveyard strategies, getting to main deck these spell bombs. I'm pretty excited for it. Yeah, I think Lilianas are also really going to shine in this list, probably more so than like basically any other red black X mid-range deck we've played. Why does Lily shine with 4 copies of Wrenn and Six? Just because like Wrenn and Six is always returning lands, so you always have something to discard to Liliana, so you kind of break the discard parity here. And Liliana, if you draw multiple Wrenn and Sixes and they're dead, like the Lilianas and Seasoned Pyromancers let you discard your redundant Wrenn and Sixes, so that way you're like really likely to draw the first copy, and the downside of drawing multiple copies is a lot lower too. Surprisingly, the Veil so far testing Grist has felt like a lot better and a lot easier to cast. See, that's the thing that I just like. This is really where I feel like I diverge from a lot of like the way people think about these decks, where so many people are like Grist is a better card than Liliana the Veil. I agree. But it's like Liliana the Veil is a really important role player in this deck, where Grist is really bad against big mana and combo. It's not very it's okay against control, but like Liliana is like largely in the deck to pressure your opponent's hands in the big mana and combo matchups, which are definitely matchups that like Jund Saga can struggle with. And like it is very much like, you know, better in a wider spread of matchups rather than just like being like a generically powerful mid-range threat is my evaluation of the card. And I feel like it's a really important role player at pressuring your opponent's hands in those matchups. And it does feel like to me that like a lot of people are not sharing that opinion. A lot of people are really just like Liliana's, you know, not as powerful of a mid-range value threat as a lot of other cards, so they just don't want to play it. But that's at least my take. It's also like very good against some decks as a grindy threat like Murktide, but I feel like the card is just so important to the archetype. Did the Bugbear consideration? Not really. Like, your mana's already pretty stretched because you're a 3-color deck with 4 colorless lands. I don't think you can seriously consider Did of the Bugbear. I'm going to keep this hand. I know that we can't cast our green spells, but we are able to cast, you know, 2... Oh, come on. This is literally all 3 red-black duels. And just like you're seeing here, like, Did of the Bugbear, the mana's just a little too stretched to want to include that card. So I do have Nihil Spellbomb in my deck. I think I'm just supposed to take a discard spell, or a cycler here. Mongoose with the 8 months, appreciate ya. Does this really need Saga, or is it just throwing Saga in to throw it in? Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that, I'd say. You know, Jund Saga is a kind of tried and true archetype in the format. You know, it was definitely a deck that really liked to play, really liked to play Luris, but, like, you know, this is kind of adopting it now that Luris is after the ban. Yeah, I would definitely say it's, you know, a bit more complicated than just throwing it in to throw it in. Okay, they shocked in the breeding pool. I guess I could have cast the Wrenn and Six pre-combat because they might force of negation in. I probably should have done that. Okay, thankfully they didn't. What's the reason for playing Culling Ritual versus Consumes All? Culling Ritual kills Sanctifier in Vec, which is really, really important. But you know, if you watch the channel, I'm not someone that just puts Urza Saga in a deck to throw it in. I'm not. People are constantly suggesting Urza Saga in decks like Mono Black Cabal Coffers and Boros Stoneblade, and I just never think it's good in a deck unless you're tutoring a really synergistic piece like Hammer or Amulet. If you're recurring it with Wrenn and Six, which this deck is doing, or if you're playing a lot of artifacts. I'm not of the opinion that the card is very powerful at all if you're not meeting all of those or one of those conditions. I'm also not of the opinion that we can win this game. We do have a decent amount of graveyard hate in the main and the sideboard. Got 2 Nihil Spellbombs main, 2 Endurances and a Lantern in the sideboard. I also get to bring in a Chalice of the Void. Tourach is okay in this matchup, even just playing it out as a 2-mana threat. I'm going to cut the pushes and the lightning bolts. I'm somewhat interested in the Boil. I think we can maybe play the Boil over the 4th copy of Wrenn and Six and not be too worried about that. Cheering, thank you for the 18 months. Appreciate you. Why not shock the Blood Crypt there to push Goyf? I guess that was better, yeah. Alright, let's keep this ham. Surprised there aren't any Darthy Void Slayers. You mean Void Walkers? Void Walker is really tough on the mana. Tourach is also tough on the mana, but you're also like already main decking Nihil Spellbomb, so it's like also tough to, or it's not that necessary to get that main deck graveyard hate. So we got some decisions here. I kind of like just casting Shardless Agent. Yeah, I think I could cast a Shardless Agent here. My hands are so good, I don't think I want a Liliana. And we hit a Nihil Spellbomb. Let's go. It's exciting. Oh yeah, I should have boarded out the Needle. That for game 3. Okay. This is fine. Not a bad exchange. Wrenn and Six is interesting. Let's go ahead and hit them with the Agent and the Ragavan. And I think I might just kick a Tourach here. It's kind of close. I've got the Endurance plus the green card now. I guess Thoughtseize plus Thoughtseize plus one of our 3-drops is probably a bit better. Or maybe Wrenn and Six, but probably not. Okay, they only have 2 lands in their hand. They also have a Turtle, an Endurance, a Subtlety. Yeah, I mean, I'll just take the Violent Outburst, and then I think if I cast this Liliana, I don't think my opponent's really gonna care too much about it, so maybe I will just go ahead and play the Wrenn and Six. Oh, yeah, they can bounce their agents. I guess Ragavan is kind of an Ignoble Hierarch role. You're a little too lost to the sauce. Ragavan is way better than Ignoble Hierarch in this deck. Wasn't a problem with this deck if that didn't run enough artifacts to justify Saga. You are, I think, misremembering my opinions on the archetype. Or on Urza Saga, where in my opinion, you want to play Urza Saga if you... I just said this too. If Wrenn and Six recurring Urza Saga is enough reason to justify it, that's enough synergy. Or playing a lot of artifacts, or getting a really synergistic piece to tutor. These are like you need to meet one of these conditions in order to want to play Urza Saga, and this deck does meet that condition when we have the Wrenn and Six to recur. I'm honestly like a little surprised this many people are like, you know, asking these questions. I feel like this archetype is like very much established, you know. Okay, Subtlety, Pitch, Curator of Mysteries. So they are going to... I didn't think that they were necessarily going to Subtlety this. I thought they were just going to... I guess they... Yeah, they absolutely should have. So they're going to Sky Turtle this back. I think that's kind of fine, though. I'm trying to think if I want to ping my own Ragavan. I think so. Oh, they're returning Violent Outburst instead of bouncing the Agent. Maybe they missed the line. Yeah. The more and more I play this archetype, the more I come to realize that Jund players just want to play the exact same Jund deck that they used to play, and they just don't really want to think that hard about it. Sorry, Jund players. I don't know, like, Jund Saga is like a super established deck. It's just like pretty surprising to get like these questions, to be honest. Not that I'm not happy to answer them, but just surprised. Guess I probably should have attacked first, huh? Okay, put Pex it in though. Charles really good there. Diabolical Funk, fast for the 60 months, appreciate you. Thunday Stop Baron more. When you're playing Urza Saga and like the one Boseiju, like you don't need the cycle lands that badly. It's also true because you're playing Urza Saga, like your mana is like pretty stretched thin. You would have to play a Baron more as like as a spell effectively, which would be fine if you wanted to do it that way, but it's not free to include. Oh, sorry, I forgot the needle again. Too busy rambling. It's okay, we just won't draw it. Might have the opinion Bloodbraid is unplayable, just not sure. I mean, Bloodbraid is not unplayable, but in my opinion, there are better options. Like, it's kind of tough for me to want to play Bloodbraid over like any Liliana, Seasoned Pyromancers, Kolaghan's Command, and Grist. It's also the case that in a deck with this mana curve, like we have 21 mana spells. Like Bloodbraid, the thing about like the problem with Bloodbraid Elf is if you want to build your mana curve correctly, your Bloodbraids are not that good. If you want to be playing your Bloodbraids with the density of 1-drops that you need to be good in Modern right now, you need to play a lot of 1-drops in my opinion. No Inquisitionable spells. Pretty sure I'm playing the Tarmogoyf here. Grist too slow in the meta. I just think that I'd rather be playing Liliana and Seasoned Pyromancer. I think they're more synergistic in the deck. Grist is fine also in this archetype, but it is not like a mandatory card by any means. Like Grist is way better at Yawgmoth too. Everything with the 7 months, appreciate you. The real question is, does Jund Maya play a bit Yorion money pile? No, that's not. It does not. But it also has a much better matchup against decks like my opponents. But it does not. It does not. No. but I do think you get a lot of equity against decks like my opponents and decks like Tron and decks like Titan. Graveyard decks too. But that's another thing I've also kind of come to learn about the Jund players is they're just obsessed with beating the Yorion decks, but that's the neat thing. You don't beat the Yorion decks. The mana of this deck seems like a nightmare. It actually gets just like Wrenn and 6 plus 9 fetch lands helps a lot with the issues. So you're saying we should ban money pile? Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it just really does seem like the common theme. If it's a mid-range deck that has a good matchup against Jund, it's too good. That's the formula for bannable. Mid-range deck, got a good matchup against Jund. Okay, I thought they were going to cast the Curator instead of cycling there. They just conceded? Why would you concede? You're not dead. You could top deck a Cascade spell. What in the world is that concession? Did they just draw all 3 living ends? I guess that might have been it. Can you explain why this and most other Jund lists don't run Urborg, Yavimaya? Well, you wouldn't want Yavimaya because you're only like double green cards are the sideboard. And just in general, like Urborg and Yavimaya are worse mana fixers than your fetch lands. I'm going to try to keep this hand. Obviously, we're, no green mana, but we do have a lot of fetch lands in the deck. I'm trying to think. I think I just actually want to push here. Quads? Cycles Visions. Maybe looking for an archive trap or an extra archive trap. No archive traps, though. Fatal Pushes. 4 cards in their hands. Okay, I've got 3 more where that came from. No! Are you kidding me? No! And surgical extraction, I guess. Yeah, they did leave one in the graveyard. Well, I guess we lose. Oh, we can mill over a Seasoned Pyromancer. Oh, we milled over 2 Seasoned Pyromancers. Guess we win. No! Wait! They didn't exile my Seasoned Pyromancers. They just didn't exile them. I think they automatically get exiled. Harold, thank you for the 16 months. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, I think they don't know that. I think they think the graveyard automatically gets exiled. Which is like a totally reasonable thing to think. Oh yeah, it's also for visions. I mean, they wouldn't target the surgical extraction and then not want to exile it. I mean, all right. I guess I'll use a push here. They do have 2 drowns. We'll see if they want to use a drown on a push. I think it would be correct for them to do so. Okay, and then I'm actually just gonna main phase this to play around the split second surgical. If we win this game after getting 3 Goyf surgical, I would be pretty shocked. Would obviously be because of their mistake. Once we have Crush Through over Gutshot Mutagenic Growth. Crush Through draws a card, which is very important in your Prowess decks, and Trample is also very good in your Prowess decks too. I am also just like of the opinion that you shouldn't really be playing Mutagenic Growth in the main deck unless if red removal spells are not the most popular types of removal, and I think that especially with the banning of Lurrus, Unholy Heat, Lightning Bolt, Fury, or maybe not so much Fury, but Holy Heat and Lightning Bolt are on a downswing in Modern, so I'm of the opinion that you should be maybe I should have held the Wrenn and Six, but I don't think you should be playing Mutagenic Growth again unless there's a lot of red removal, and I don't think there really is at the moment. If I mill another Seasoned Pyromancer, I'm gonna regret spending my mana on other things, but I did not. I'm only dealing 2 damage a turn at the moment though, and they're milling me for 6 a turn. Okay, let me cast Liliana, see if they drew a 3rd drown into lock. Oh, they did exile. No, the other spirals are not actually exiled. I think they just clicked through there. They just clicked through it on accident. Call me crazy. I think that Heat isn't a great spell with Titan, Blue, White, and Money Pile on the rise. Yeah, I'm not saying that Heat is bad, but I am saying that like Murktide is kind of the only like super established Heat deck at the moment. It's like it's just Murktide. Like there are some Shadow variants that are playing it, but like the Grixis Shadow decks are still like somewhat untuned, and they're like just gonna take some time to reemerge. What is this? Crypt Incursion? Crypt Incursion, only gaining 3 life. The Tarmogoyf in the yard ended up being relevant. Sorry, only getting 9 life. Which is a lot, but it is potentially beatable. They drew Tasha's Hideous Laughter, though, and now, oh wait, are they forgetting a Boro? They did forget a Boro. Problem is they just have it for next turn. So I do have. I'm a little light on Hate for Mill. I've got my copies of Endurance. I guess I've got Boil. Tourach is not bad in the matchup either. Still one Seasoned Pyromancer left in the deck, unfortunately. It would have been great to mill it over here. Trying to think, like, I guess my opponent just has to draw, like, literally all lands. They didn't even want to cast the Surgical. Yeah, they have to draw 3 lands in a row. Or if maybe I've got a Bolts left in the deck. Okay. I might forget a Boro again. They didn't. Okay, well, that Surgical was crazy. For those who missed it, we got we drew 4 Tarmogoyfs and got 3 of them Surgical'd. We're gonna bring in these 5 cards. We're gonna want to cut Terminate. Liliana's pretty good in the matchup. Cut the Shadowspear for sure. I think I'll probably cut the second Spellbomb. I'm trying to think if I want Needle. Needle hits Field of Ruin and Shelduck Isle, which are both okay to name. I think they only missed 1 of Boro Bounce. I think I'm also gonna probably play like 62. Maybe 63. Yeah, Needle also hits a Boro. I guess I could probably play 2 Spellbombs, just play 63. Have we talked about Bloodbraid Elf before? Yeah, that card's on my radar. I think that Bloodbraid Elf is worse than other options. It's not completely unplayable, but I'm not like super excited to play Bloodbraid Elf over cards like okay, Leyline of Void's fine. I'm not super excited to play Bloodbraid Elf over cards like Gris, Seasoned Pyromancer, Liliana of the Veil, Kroxa, Tourach. These are so you only get 60 cards in the deck. You don't get to play infinite number of these. It's also true. Like I think if you want to play Jund, you need to play tons of 1-mana spells. Like I'm playing 21 drops. Usually, I find that if you want your Wrenn and Sixes to be good, like you have to play like sorry, not your Wrenn and Sixes. If you want your Bloodbraid Elves to be good, you have to play like Wait, why are they playing Leyline of the Void in their Drown in the lock deck? If you want your Bloodbraid Elves to be good, you have to play like 14, 15, 16 1-drops at most. Dude, what a combo deck. Leyline of the Void, Profane Memento. This is a combo deck. Does this deck have any unwinnable matchups? I would say no. I would say this deck does not have any matchups that I would call unwinnable. Yeah, it is good against Leyline, or against Endurance, yeah. It is true. Dude, they drew Push. That's one of their better draws for sure. I think I might just main phase the Endurance then. Should you cast the Thoughtseize their treasure to play around Archive Trap? I think that I'm okay just kind of getting got by Archive Trap. If they have multiples, it's kind of an issue, but I like keeping the treasure around. I think it's more relevant. Okay, let's start off with a Seasoned Pyromancer. Get 1 token, another Seasoned Pyromancer, and another Endurance. They draw Field of Ruin. So why Urza Saga just a good value card? I'm honestly like kind of surprised that like yes, it is like just a good value card, but I'm surprised we're getting this question so often. Like Jund Saga is not a new deck in Modern. It's been around for a while. It's like I feel like pretty tried and true in this archetype at this point. Yeah, I think I'll just play Endurance Tarmogoyf. So why else? Well, there are a lot of different ways to build the Red-Black X archetype. This is very much a tried-and-true variant, right? But now has lost Lurrus as a companion, and this is a way to build the deck. But I've tested off stream, it's felt pretty strong. I've just spent a lot of time on the list. I think this is a really reasonable way to build the archetype, and we're showing off this version of the deck. Urza Saga is very much strong with the 4 copies of Wrenn and Six, this low to the ground mana curve. It's just like very much been proven to be an excellent option in Modern. And this is, you know, we've spent a lot of time with just straight red black. We've spent some time with a more classic build of Jund without Urza Saga. And I've just spent a lot of time on these lists trying to find the best versions, and like there's obviously like a lot of nuance and different reasons to play them in different metagames. This is, you know, these are the reasons. Maybe I'm not doing a good job explaining. I don't think I care that much about Leyline of the Void, so I'm just gonna click submit. Is it more appealing to hold up endurance to play around a sweeper? I guess I was kind of more worried about counter magic, but I guess with the Drown of the Locks turned off, playing around sweeper was better. I think these questions are coming from post-Lurrus ban. I feel like the strength came from recursion, but this list is showing that Saga is good on its own. Well, I mean, it's not that Saga is good on its own. It's good with specifically Wrenn and Six, and that isn't a dynamic that changed with the Lurrus ban. This hand's kind of bad, but we do have Tarmogoyf into Urza Saga activation into Boil. Hate to see a non-mountain there, though. I do love to see a Ragavan. Oh no, this was a huge mistake. I needed to play the Stomping Ground, so now I can't play Saga on turn 2 and activate on turn 3. What do you think of Grist instead of Liliana? This is also something we've talked about already today. In my opinion, I think people really misevaluate Liliana of the Veil. Like, the card is not good in the archetype because it's like a good value card. It's a card that's really important to pressure the hands of combo and big mana decks. and that dynamic I don't see changing anytime soon. And I think that you see a lot of people, you know, talking bad about Liliana. Obviously, like, everybody's opinion is fine, but like, yes, Liliana is not a great value 3-drop, but it's an important role player to pressure the hands of like mill decks, cascade decks, combo decks, big mana decks. That's what the card is good at, and it's very good in a deck with 4 copies of Wrenn and Six 2. Good, very good at the low mana curve. Just good in general, I feel. Okay, it's got 3 cards in their hands. Trying to think if I want to play Urza Saga or the Boseiju as a land here. Liliana is the card that softens up the deck that tend to be our worst matchups that are unwinnable. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Get back Boseiju, put them on all islands. I mean, they're already playing 3 islands. They already have 3 islands. We're gonna, you know, be boiling next turn. Kind of no matter what. What are they, surgical? Seasoned Pyromancer. Wait, does this automatically exile them? Okay, then they draw 1 card of Visions. Kind of a confusing turn. I don't want to play into Trap, so I'll just Boil main phase. And attack for 6. Next turn I can force a chump block. I'm just hoping my opponent doesn't draw like specifically fetch lands. No lands at all. Perfect. Now they have to chump block, and we get to push a token, which is just absolutely exactly what we wanted to have happen this turn. Oh, I just searched my library, though. I did just search my library. So if they have an archive trap, we go to 1 card in our library. Any Grixis Shadowless I'm working on? We played some Grixis Shadowless post-Lurrus ban. I do think that there's some merit to those decks. They don't have the trap, though. It's not like a huge, like, we will return to it, but there's just like so much nuance that like that's definitely one of those decks that you just have to spend so much time to tune, and you know, I'm likely to return to it, but I just haven't. Yeah, the Shadow deck has so many flex spots, and now there's also a lot of ways to build it. Okay, usually I'll just play turn 1 Ragavan in the blind, but I think with only 1 threat and 2 discard spells, and the mana to play double discard spell into Ragavan on turn 2, I'll lead on an Inquisition here. I already missed the Mono Red Asmo deck from yesterday. I mean, assuming that nothing else changes, that might be the deck I play in this weekend's challenge. I'll probably play it some more this week too. Really have been liking that one. I'm pretty happy with, you know, how the brews have been going lately. So, you know, sometimes we can get in a slump, but it's been good for a long time now, I feel. I think there's a way for 4 Culling Mile to shore up the linear combo matchups. Not really. Like, so you can shore up some of them, right? Like, The reality of playing a Yorion deck that's full of creature removal, which is what the money pile is. You are unfavored against a lot of linear decks, and because you're a Yorion deck, your sideboard cards are a lot less effective than they would be usually be, and so you can hedge against some matchups, and your matchups do definitely what. Okay, so they're playing Reanimator. I'm gonna take the Stitcher Supplier. Your linear matchups also definitely improve. When you play Ragavan and Counterspell, but that's just kind of like 8 cards. Like, it doesn't necessarily change the overall matchup spread. And so I think if I'm gonna get Swamp into Stomping Ground. But yeah, but the nature of being a Yorion deck that's full of creature removal, which is again exactly what their deck is. It's just tough to feel like you're like super duper good against the linear decks. Obviously, you could, but it's also true. Like when I say that the Yorion deck is like not good against these decks, they're just not favored. They're absolutely capable of winning them, just like you are absolutely capable of beating the Omnath decks. You're just like percentage wise unfavored to do so when you're playing these fair decks. Ooh, dude, I've been actually like really wanting to get these in paper. Maybe I'll get them on Magic Online too, but I just haven't been playing very many snow decks. Dude, they have Grief to get my Nihil Spellbomb. Am I doing Dallas? Yeah, I registered this morning. The Dallas SCG is actually my hometown. I was born in Fort Worth, which is where the tournament is actually. It's not actually in Dallas, and it's also my birthday weekend. So I'm just actually giddy with excitement at the thought of getting to spend my I guess I'm just gonna trade now. I'm giddy with excitement at the thought of getting to spend my birthday weekend playing Magic and at the first SCG Open back with my friends. Grief was already in their hand when I Thoughtseize. Yeah, I knew that. I don't know if when I Inquisition it was already in the hand. Because if it was, I missed that. I thought that was the draw for the turn. Alright, come on, Ragavan. Wonder if there are any more control 4-color deck that gets the benefit of playing Permission. Yeah, Nassif has worked on like 4-color control that plays like just like Counterspell, Archmage, Charm, Verdict, and like a splashing for Omnath and Wrenn and Six, which is I think a fine way to build a deck. Let me see if I draw. I'm trying to think what I would draw to make me not want to cast the Bolt. Push probably. I probably was supposed to fetch also. Yeah, Nassif has worked on some of those versions. They exist, but then you lose matchup against like the more creature-based decks. It's just like because like you're cutting the incarnations and you're like also really altering how your mana base looks. But just can't be good against everything in Modern. If you are good against everything, your deck is too good. So they're 1 mana away from Unearthing Priest and getting back a Grief, I guess. I think we attack first. Can't quite card cast an Archon. Oh no, come on. Okay, I guess Liliana of the Veil was bad all along. So now if they draw a land, they get to get their Archon back. They did draw the land. And sacking Priest of Felrights is really rough here. I guess they already have another one in the yard. Yeah, I know we get on the downtick, but they just have 2 more priests. But we can hit like our own Archon potentially. Okay, so I'm going to cast this, and then I'm going to use the blood token to loot away the Thoughtseize. Access number of blood tokens you control. Okay, well, I'm going to discard this again. We get to Edict this Archon. They do have another priest in the yard. We maybe have something else to kill them off the Ragavan. Was hoping to draw a bolt, maybe. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Okay. I think we're gonna lose. Yeah, the priest costs 3 life, but they gain 3 life off the... Oh, priest costs 3 life and they're at 3, exactly. I see. Cool. We're actually in pretty good shape then. Okay, I'll discard the Inquisition. Oh, I haven't seen this one. This one looks so good. Oh, man. That's the best one, I think. Swamp is pretty good, too. Getting to playtest some Fable of the Mirror Breaker, too. Solitude? Pretty exciting. So they get to block and they go up to 6. And now they can get an Archon back. That being said, my life total is high enough that I'm not dead. And my Urza Saga token is going to be big enough that I can force the Archon to chump block. Well, I guess hold on. So the Goyf will be a 7/8, and the Urza Saga will be a 8/8. So I guess I'm gonna sack the Goyf. Hey, Andrea, good to see you. Has been playing Fable in the deck, change your opinion of will Fable play Spiral? I'm actually not playing Fable in the deck. I stole this from Ragavan. I was joking about getting to playtest it. I'm not of the opinion that Fable is going to replace Seasoned Pyromancer. I could be wrong, but it's just like Seasoned Pyromancer is such a better top deck, which is like kind of what you want it to be. Fable is like pretty slow. It's also true like Fable kind of secretly has 4 chapters. Right, where you have chapter 1 of you get the 2/2 Wake a Treasure, which is pretty good, and then chapter 2 of Rummage 2, which is okay, and then chapter 3 is you get to have your Reflection of Kiki-Jiki in play, but chapter 4 is your Reflection of Kiki-Jiki untaps, and you actually get to do something with it because you don't get to do anything with it on chapter 3. Wait, they didn't put an Archon into play, which I guess is great for me, and they're probably not going to expect the second main deck Nihil Spellbomb. So like the fact that it like has like secret 4 chapters, whatever, I'm very much of the opinion that the card is super slow and like it's good on turn 3, but it's like it does not scale very well. I think I'm supposed to get a Nihil Spellbomb here. Obviously I could go for the kill with Shadowspear, but we can kind of never lose if we get the Spellbomb, so I'm kind of on board for never losing in this spot. Yeah, the second Nihil Spellbomb. No reason to crack it yet. Can just make them go for it. Ooh. When this creature dies, I'll just Spellbomb in response to this trigger. Frosty with the Twitch Prime, appreciate you. Yeah, but with this deck not playing the Mishra's Baubles, I think you need 4 Urza Saga targets, and I think I was waffling between just playing the first Bauble, but I feel like he just wanted to play the second Nihil Spellbomb instead. Opponent says Spellbomb, huh? Spellbomb indeed. Yeah, we're pretty prepped for the graveyard decks today. Yeah, I think the only way to play like 8/3 drops is to cut DRC plus Bauble. If you still want to play the density of cheap interaction, like there's really just no other way to fit these cards in the deck. I think these cards are both very important too. Obviously Bauble loses some stake too when you lose Luris. Not saying that you can't play the deck with a DRC Bauble instead, but I think this is probably the way to go. So we're bringing the extra Terminates. I think I'll cut the pushes, leave in the bolts. Maybe cut a Liliana. Liliana can't kill an Archon, and pressuring their hand can be important. Maybe Tourach is better. I do usually find Jund Saga as one of the best decks against Reanimator. As someone who's played a lot of Reanimator variants. How difficult are the double color pips with Saga in the deck? I mean, they're not super easy, but just with 4 Wrenn and 6s and 9 fetch lands, it's not super difficult for you to just assemble Wrenn and 6 plus fetch land and never worry about your mana again. Which is like a big part of why the mana works in the first place. Is 9 fetches, 4 Wrenn and 6s. and the general peace and acceptance that sometimes your mana is not gonna work that well. Is Urborg needing the deck? I would not recommend Urborg, but just like Urborg in your Wrenn and Six deck. Like we drew a fetch land. Our mana is perfect. Sometimes your mana is not going to be perfect. Touch of the Spirit Realm. It's a Oblivion Ring only for artifacts or creatures, and then you can channel it to flicker an artifact or creature. Slow flicker. They milled over a Priest of Fell Rites. I think I'll take the Supplier. I don't think that card does that much. Yeah, also the Fury. Can't take the Fury though. Seems like 10 fetch lands or more could be better. I don't know. I feel like 9 feels like a good number, especially when you also have Urza Saga and Boseiju to recur. You could maybe sell me on the 10th fetch land. I think you'd have a really hard time selling beyond 11 in the 60 card deck, 23 lands. Maybe you play 10 when you get the Jund Triome or something. Maybe not. Yeah, don't want to -1 here since they do have this to flicker it. We got Pulse of Marasa as a 1 of Tech versus Burn and Amulet. Pulse of Marasa isn't good against Amulet, right? Why is Pulse good against Amulet? To recur your Boseiju, that's super slow. I don't know. It's also like, that card is also like bad. But Pulse is just like a weak card in every matchup besides Burn. I know that it like cycles, but like 3 mana to cycle is pretty bad. Alright, Fury Pitch Wear Tear, that's fine. What color? I'm mostly excited for Bant, but I will be excited to play with Jund and Grixis Triomes too, of course. I think Naya is probably my least least excited color combo. I think I'm just gonna pass here. I know I could play the Saga, but I think that I'm probably gonna want to play Saga next turn and cast the Endurance next turn. So I'm gonna hold up Bolt, and because I have 2 bolts, I'm actually pretty happy if my opponent draws another one of these. If they end up using it to flicker and we get to time lock them with the second bolt. Remember when Triomes first came out and no one was playing them in Modern? I'm trying to remember how long it took to adapt, and I'm trying to remember like when was the first time that I played a Triome. I probably played Triomes pretty quickly in like the Jeskai Wildfire Nihiri deck. I don't know if that was the first place I ever played a Triome, but that was probably the where I played them the most. Do you know if Teferi can bounce Urza Saga? It can. Teferi can bounce enchantments. Urza Saga is an enchantment. I've been on both the giving and the receiving end of that many times. A little risky to block here. I think it's fine. Yeah, they didn't mill over anything super duper relevant. Probably just gonna be okay making a token this turn. Probably just gonna ignore the supplier until I get the second supplier until I get the Spellbomb. Remember Bugura wasn't even playing Bug Triome? I remember I played Bug Triome at some point. I don't know if I like... Oh, whoops. Oh, I misclicked on the... Okay. I know I was playing Bug Triome at some point. I can't remember... I feel like I've always been pretty pro Triome. Maybe that's some revisionist history, though. Oh, they hit a Seasoned Pyromancer, but I can respond to the fetch land with the Nihil Spellbomb if I want to. It's probably fine. They have no cards in their hand. We're probably beating an Archon of Cruelty anyways. Just get him dead next turn. Yeah, there was a while I just didn't want... That's true. I was kind of late to the Sultai Uro pile, though, because I just hated the card. Like, I just always hated the card. I should have got a red source here instead of the Overgrown Tomb. I think like really the only way I lose is if I plus this Liliana and they discard an Archon. So I'll just like not do that. Right, dead on board. It gives us the GGs. Pretty good matchup. Opponent says they had Archon in hands. Funny. Sometimes they're just pretty to look at. Pizza, thank you for the 13 months. Appreciate you. Do you think Elder Deep Fiend is somehow playable in Modern? Maybe. It's kind of good with Thought Monitor. Yeah, but this deck, this is like one of my all-time favorite decks. It was, you know, and I'm only playing 3 Uros. Although you could tutor Uro with gifts, so you don't, maybe you just didn't need the 4th one. Oh, I loved this deck. And I was playing the Remans here because they were good in the Uro mirrors. You get Blood Crypts. Could maybe have gotten Overgrown Tomb into basic Mountain. Okay, definitely taking Murktide. Why did I make that Elder Deep Fiend comment? There's no way that can work. I wouldn't say there's no way. Like, Elder Deep Fiend and Mono Blue Affinity with Mirror Enforcer, Sojourner's Companion, and, oh no, it's coming together, and, Sanctum of Ugin with Elder Deep Fiend does not sound half bad. It's probably not good, but it doesn't sound half bad, does it? I'm you know, try not to hope. I'll maybe test that off stream. But like, if Elder Deep Fiend's gonna be good, that's where it's gonna be good. How's my Elder Ring build going? I just respect into Moonveil Katana. I still just have a Claymore. I'm two-handing it. I'm fast rolling. Although it's like, I can't fast roll with any of my nice armor, which is kind of frustrating. But I picked up the God Killer Greatsword. I might switch to that. Respect for that. I've got like 5 respects or something. When I test off stream, do I have an alt MTGO account? No, I test on this account. So if I bolt, they fetch and save it, obviously, but I can ping plus bolts. And push. Yeah, well, I've got the talismans that boost my equip load. You can only equip one of the 2, but it's like, it's still just not enough to fast roll. It's like enough to, I can wear like good armor and mid roll, but I feel like I can't wear good armor and fast roll. I have okay armor though. Maybe my endurance is also 40. I don't know if it needs to be higher than that. I think that I'm probably just gonna crack a Spellbomb main phase, since I think like the only real way we lose this game at this point is to Murktide Regent. Mid rolls what people do at Elden Ring. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured, but I don't know. The fast roll feels really good, obviously, but it is a bit more balanced in this game than in Dark Souls 3. Like in Dark Souls 3, it was so easy to the fast roll. But maybe the difference between fast and mid roll isn't as pronounced in Elden Ring. Can Mono Red Prowess List be played without Ravioli? Is Ravioli Ragavan? Because I'm currently not playing Ragavan in the Mono Red Prowess List. You can play it. I don't think you have to. I think it's obviously a totally reasonable card to play, but we'll just play Goyf and activate Saga this turn. But no, I'm not even playing it. Is it better to play second Saga there, actually? Probably better to get one more land into play first. Oh yeah, the Bloodhound stuff. Maybe I'll look into that. You get trinkets to help with equip. But yeah, that's what I have. I have some really sick armor sets that I can't wear in fast roll, even with the trinket, even with 40 endurance. Maybe there's more. We'll see. We can stop talking about Elden Ring. I'm trying not to play Elden Ring very much this week because I've got a lot of stuff to do. Got a lot of like family stuff and personal commitments, and it's like I'm not gonna be able to play Elden Ring and keep up with Magic stuff and keep those commitments. All right, so bring in second Terminate because we're up against a Murktide deck. I'll probably do one Boil because they're just all watery graves because they're straight blue black. I think Endurance is pretty good too. Yeah, only one game at a time. Yeah, no, pretty maidenless, huh? I think this looks like a good sideboard plan. Time Travel at 8. Do you feel Charbelcher is better positioned since the Lurrus ban? The printing of Boseiju was a pretty big hit for Belcher because they just get, you know, main deck Stone Rains for 2 mana. I guess Sinkholes. I will say also that, like, Belcher typically was, I think, a little favored against Grixis Shadow. Not by a lot, but, like, Leyline of Sanctity was just so good against them. That I would say, like, you know, I would not say that Belcher significantly changed. Without Lurrus, Shadow has a hard time keeping with the late game value of Saga. I think I probably disagree with that statement since like the Shadow decks, if you're playing Grixis Shadow, at least you have Dress Down, so you have like a lot of main deck ways to be good against main deck ways to be good in Saga. Okay, so they have 2 Death Shadows. They put 2 cards on the bottom. If they go Thoughtseize, I mean, yeah, actually, if I just take the Thoughtseize, even if they draw a fetch land, their shadows are stranded. I may even Boseiju them. They probably don't have that many basics. I think I'll Wrenn and Six first. Oh, right, but they can get Watergrave, of course. That's right. Yeah. Thank you. Of course. It may be able to run them out of Watery Graves, though. I'll Thoughtseize first. Dude, they drew 3 more Murktide regions. That's unreal. I could not believe they were that unlucky to just draw 3 more Murktide regions. I think I'll take a Shadow. Two more? Oh, sorry. Still. Yeah, I need my own surgical, huh? Pop the Spellbomb. Okay, so they do have a push for the Goyf. Oh, also if I Boseiju them, they can shock to make their shadows better. Trying to think if I play the Goyf here. I think I do. I think just like turning on a top deck discard spell is probably not correct. Just let it get pushed. Okay, so the shock's down to 15. But my opponent probably cannot beat a Wrenn and Six emblem, so they have to draw like Bloodchief's Thirst, I guess. Maybe they could beat it. I don't know. I get to Thoughtseize 3 of their Murktides, but then I go down to 6. Oh, they also have 4 Murktides. So they kept the Street Wraith. I mean, if they double Shadow here, it doesn't matter because I have infinite pushes. But those Murktides are kind of scary. Okay, so easy Rimblem. Our very flooded hand got a little bit better, huh? I think I have to go down to 2 life. This, like, really hurts, but I don't see another way to beat all those Murktides without Thoughtseizing 4 times. Thoughtseizing 4 times, and... Wait, I don't have a Fatal Push? No, I thought I had a Fatal Push! No! Dude, I thought I had a Fatal Push in here! Oh, no! I was like 100% sure I had the push for Shadow. I was 100% sure I had the push for Shadow. I'm sorry. Yikes. Yeah, opponent did nothing and still won. Oh, it's so embarrassing. I don't know. I feel like I even said I'm gonna push the shadow. Sorry, I don't know, man. No excuses. What are we doing here? Basic Mountain, Overgrown Tomb.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Trinosphere, thank you for the 8 months. This is your braid on John, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I should have fifth Thoughtseize. Unexistent, thank you for the cheer. I thought for sure I had a Fatal Push in my yard. I don't know. I kind of feel like I got Mandela affected into a universe where all of a sudden there was actually not a there's actually not a Fatal Push in the yard. My consciousness was transferred from a universe where there was a push into this universe, and I'm embarrassed, but maybe I get to be, you know, quantumly immortal, which is a nice consolation prize, I suppose. Quantum immortality. Yeah, the US changed time zones like a week ago. So I can play Liliana into Stubborn Denial, or I can just cast Endurance. I kind of just like casting Endurance here. I think I get Basic Forest. I can pick up the Verdant Catacombs next turn, so I'm not playing into a Drown in the Lock. Maybe I should have done this in Instep or Upkeep. But then I kind of walk into Counterspell if I go for Upkeep. I kind of walk into Dismember too. I think not walking into Counterspell is fine. What's my preference donation-wise for deck? $10. Or 2 gifted subs or the channel points. Can maybe bait a... I guess we'll go for Thoughtseize plus Endurance. It's a little kind of close. Let's manage that graveyard. We only have 2 Endurances in our sideboard. We've been drawing them a lot today. Keep them off the Murktides. Alright, here comes at least one Death Shadow. I'm assuming... Oh, Thoughtseize first. 6/6 Death Shadow. Oh boy. That resolved pretty fast. I'm gonna fetch, see if they're F6. They don't seem to be F6'd. Guess I'll just Liliana. Maybe I should have played that untapped. Kind of worried about my life total. If they drown, I guess I shouldn't have. Yeah, I could have drawn this card. Could have also gotten a land back, but it is worth it to resolve the Liliana. Just by losing that added value. And we've got a Boil. Can I attack? I think I can attack. It's kind of close. Like, I've got them dead with the ping plus Endurance attack next turn. Another Shadow's tough, but they didn't have a Shadow there. Like, I guess maybe they were sandbagging this. Kind of tough to tell. Alright, I mean, I'm just going to Boil now so that I can plus the Liliana. I know that they get to keep a land, but that's okay. This Boil's been great today too. Puts it on the Wrenn activation. I think that plussing last turn was good, so I had the option to. Oh yeah. Before I did anything, I should have just returned a land. Yeah, that's what you're saying. The punt was. Boiling Upkeep seems better. No, I can't. If I Boil Upkeep, then I don't get to plus Liliana, and I don't get to Edict the Shadow next turn. I have to Boil main phase so I can Edict the Shadow next turn. Okay, let's get a prediction for a trophy. I'll keep this. I don't have any red mana, but we do have Thoughtseize into Goyf into Saga Spellbomb. Yeah, I would much rather. I want to see like 4 Ashioks in the sideboard. Like your Tide matchup's really rough. I also had a bunch of Metallic Rebukes in the sideboard. And I'm thinking that Flusterstorm was better because you really only want these for combo matchups. Yeah, so -2 Gust, -2 Sphere for 4 Ashiok. I think. I know maybe you need some Damping Spheres for the Tron matchup. But I also don't think the Tron matchup is super terrible. I don't love Inganjo and Otawara in the blue-white version. I kind of would just like to see more dual lands because your mana is kind of shaky since you have blue and white drops on turn 1 and all these colorless spells and double blue. I think I just want to see more blue-white dual lands. The 4th House Fountain and maybe like the first of Darkar Wastes. I've been like kind of pleasantly surprised by Darkar Wastes. I guess we have to take the Sigardazade. Thankfully, we got the Culling Rituals in the sideboard. All right, those are my thoughts. I still recommend Marty's Shadow for tournament play. Yeah, I think I still like that deck. I haven't been playing much of it lately because I don't think there's like a lot of wiggle room for improvement. And it's definitely true, like you miss a lot of the card selection that you get from the other variants, but it is definitely still a deck that I would recommend. Chip, chip, chip. All right, let's start the the Min-Might Slaughter. And then, do we attack? I think I like... Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's a 5/6. I couldn't see. I think I like attacking... If they want to attack the Wrenn and Six with 1 damage, that's okay. Then we get a Planeswalker in the graveyard. Grow the Goyf some more. Hopefully they don't draw a white source. Awesome. They drew a Sigardazade, which is less awesome. So now they're going to get to hammer on their reality chip next turn. Oh, they drew a hammer. Okay. Okay, this is bad. Now we're at 4 life. Need to draw a push. Okay. Get to the Shadowspear and the Min-Might. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to waste time playing around it. We do have a lot of sideboard cards for this matchup, though. We get to bring in 2 Culling Rituals, a Terminate, Alpine Moons, and Boseijus, and the Pyrite Spellbomb. We can also maybe bring in Tourach since they have it's just like a 2/1 pro white. We'll kind of think about these. I'm gonna cut the. I might play 1 Liliana. I might play 0. I'm gonna cut the Nihil Spellbombs. I might cut the Needle too. Needle's okay. I think we're gonna go down to like 3 discard spells. Then probably down 1 Ragavan for 1 Tourach. Kind of like that. Just 2/1 pro white. It's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. Had a mono black over the weekend. We went 2-2 in the tournament. It was kind of like a great classic tournament where you got a deck you're really excited to play, and then you like lose game 1 to like never finding your 3rd land, and then you lose game 2 to match 4 to living and drawing really well. Very classic tournament report. I don't love this hand. We don't really have any sideboard cards. Our mana's pretty shaky. I'm gonna go and take a mulligan. Okay, I like this hand well enough. I guess I'll put back a Verdant Catacombs. No, I'll put back an Overgrown Tomb. Yeah. Urza Saga, not a symmetrical, or Alpine Moon, not a symmetrical card. No. When you bring in 2 Boseijus, could you conceivably cut 1 land? You could, but it's also true. Like you're probably going to be, getting Stomping Ground. You're probably going to be channeling them. So it's like they definitely play more of a spell role in this matchup than not. I'm trying to think if I should get. I'll just get Overgrown Tomb. I think you could maybe make a good case for Basic Mountain here. Could maybe make a better case for Blood Crypt too, but I think it's all mostly fine. How did he lose game 1? How do you think? If you had to guess how he lost game 1 to Hammer. Do you see Liliana's a 4 of the Spore Fire Grisworth running? Again, this is something I feel like I evaluate Liliana really differently, where I think the card is super important for the big mana and combo matchups in general. Like, just like not playing Liliana makes you so much weaker to those decks, and Grist is like very weak in those matchups. And you can side Liliana out if it's not a good value play. It is in some matchups, it's not in a lot of matchups. But I think for the, like, I mean, it's also like the case, I think for the most part, I tend to maybe over respect like the Titan and the combo matchups, and like compared to like the average player. I think that is a trend I tend to see. But I also think the average player under respects those matchups, so maybe it all evens out overall. Well, we just lost our Wrenn and Six, which stinks. Goyf is at 3-2 at the moment. I think I'm going to go attack with Tarmogoyf. See how they block. I'm probably just going to kill their Saga here. Then play a second Goyf. No, I didn't play against Titan this league, but it's just like, it's also true, like, those matchups are the matchups that you, like, really can't afford to get caught with your pants down against. And, you know, another thing that's really true also, it's like, if your goal is to just be good in the grindy matchups, if you're going to play, like, why are you playing John's Saga if your goal is to just be as good in the grindy matchups as you can? If your goal is to just be good in the grindy matchups, you need to be playing Omnath. But this deck is good because these versions do get a lot of points against the combo decks and the big mana decks. In my opinion. So I think we go push the Stoneforge Mystic, which grows the Goyfs to 4/5s. We play a Verdant Catacombs, cast a Seasoned Pyromancer. I hope to... Well, I guess Culling Ritual is a bit awkward with these Goyfs, huh? But those are not bad draws. Dead to a Pure Steel Paladin, I suppose. Oh, no, they don't have Metalcraft. We suck versus big mana since always. That is not the case anymore. John no longer sucks against big mana, largely because of Ragavan. But there's other factors at play too. But like Boseiju and Ragavan actually like make you very good against big mana. Okay. Pretty sure I'm pushing them in might. Hoping they don't have their last card is not a 1 mana or 0 mana artifact. Awesome. So then I bolt the Paladin and kill them. 5/6 Goyfs through a Sanctifier is pretty cool. Yeah, Ragavan, Boseiju are cards that like drastically make you a lot better against big mana. Liliana's also good against big mana too. I do have one Liliana, yeah. I don't think you could maybe play 2 over like the 4th Wrenn, but on the draw that's also like worse. You also have Culling Ritual and Pyrite Spellbomb as outs to Sanctifier. You can maybe go for another discard spell on the draw. Don't really like this hand. Opponent kept 7. This hand's not bad. I think it might be worse than the average 6 though. I'm gonna go to 6. Okay, I like this hand more. Rest in peace. Okay, they only have one. I'll just take the rest in peace, right? Okay, what does rest in peace actually stop in my deck besides? Is Wrenn and Six recursion with Boseiju is pretty important, and the Goyf that's in my hand. And I've got answers for Paladin. Trophy with Gensack this weekend. Yeah, I like that deck a lot. Yeah, the Culling Ritual is so good in these matchups. So they probably just cast the hammer here. They get Nettle Cyst. Okay, I'm really surprised to see them get Nettle Cyst, to be honest. I think that I need to terminate this turn, and then I can go Goy Fatal Push the following turn. I think I'm killing Stoneforge Mystic. It's kind of close between that and the Midnight, to be honest. I need to use my mana. I don't think I can just do nothing. It's kind of an interesting draw. I could potentially hold up Bolt plus push. I think it's probably better to play the Goyf, though. And hold up just the push. Five, 6. So then has Paladin Hammer, I assume, if they're not playing the Paladin here. Okay, guess not. It's kind of weird. Another push is kind of good. Is there any chance we make a token this turn? I feel like there's almost a 0% chance we make a token this turn. But how valuable is it to play out the Shadowspear? Somewhat valuable, because that way we can equip Spear and hold up a push next turn. Just going to pass back this turn. Their own Saga. I might just Needle Saga then. Then the Sigarda's Aid's a problem. Let's see what we draw. Pyrite Spellbomb. Can Needle Inkmoth Nexus. Inkmoth's not really that big of a problem though. I think I might Needle the Nettle Cyst. Is he unplayable in the deck now? No, unplayable would be a gross exaggeration. Okay, so I might, if I might attack here, they can pump this twice. The Nexuses. Flameo, hot man, good username. You posted the link in the chat for the deck tech, I'm assuming. So the Saga's a big problem. We get the Nettle Cyst out of the way. Oh, they don't have Blacksmith skill, do they? Yikes. Okay, so I think I'm going to attack. Goyf is currently a 6/7. And if they go make a token, animate a Nexus, this would be a 7/7, then they can block. Then I can bolt a Nexus and push the token if I want to, but then they get to hammer their Midnight, but that's kind of okay. If I'm getting 6 a turn, it's not great. But I might not even have to make that decision to, which I don't have to, looks like, thankfully. I guess we play out the Spellbomb. They forgot to make a Saga token. That's huge. That's so big. We probably can't win this match with, or we can win, but that just makes things so much easier. Do you have mana to activate Shadowspear? We did not end of turn though. That is good tech against the skill though. Now Spellbomb gets needled. I'm totally okay with them needling Spellbomb instead of getting a hammer. They're still not making a token. Yeah, this is fine. I will trade the Spellbomb for a hammer effectively. That's really bad. Guess it's still 5/6. I thought it was gonna be a bit smaller than that. No, I didn't needle Saga. I needled Nettle Cyst. I kind of feel like I've got to push the Germ token. Their hand is Paladin, Mystery card. We're pretty cold to a hammer, I know, but sometimes you're cold to a hammer. Yeah, losing the Bolt stinks, but I think we should cast the Seasoned Pyromancer. Get in there. Yeah, I mean, my opponent's definitely playing like they do have one, but like I just don't think we can beat a hammer anyways because they have Nettlesis plus Paladin. Like the bolt really isn't doing it. They're drawing Reality Chip? Okay. It's a pretty scary card, to be honest. Was that from their hand or from their library? I can't tell. Good match so far. Good match. Was from hand. Thank you. Yeah, they can't equip Nettlesis because of the needle. My opponent said, oh my god. Yeah, I think they thought that we needled Saga. They confirmed our suspicions. Rough stuff for them. I'm probably supposed to save a bolt for an Inkmoth Nexus. Unfortunately, we can probably put them to 1, which is, last time I checked, still not 0. I don't see any way to grow the Goyf. Oh, they're chump blocking. Well, don't hate that. Lamb, thank you for the 15 months. Hope you're well. Othering us taking away from the stream. Sorry, I totally understand. I'm itching to play so bad. I haven't played all week. Well, I guess it's only Tuesday, but I didn't play yesterday or much Sunday. A little bit Sunday, actually. Okay, I haven't played it one day. Okay, Paladin from the top of the library. Ornithopter from the top of the library. Okay, not gonna let them draw the card and just like let them know how they should block. There's a chance they just walk into the lightning bolt here. It's weird. So this is a 5/6 Goyf with 5 toughness in front of it. Alright, well, just eat everything. Spellbomb plus bolt. There's a needle on Spellbomb. There's a needle on Pyrite Spellbomb. I'm not just missing onboard lethal. Another Paladin. Opponent has a hard time finding any hammers this game. No, you're good, Dom. You're good. It's a rite of passage to miss a Pithing Needle. Everybody does it. It's kind of mandatory at this point to pop into the chat, yell about a Pithing Needle. I'm also at 37. So it's in with the whole team? Don't think so. They just have such free blocks here. Yeah, they thought my needle was on Saga. Gillen, thank you for 7 months. Appreciate you. We probably lose the game if they didn't make that mistake. Yeah, we still have actually 2 Boseijus left in the deck. Or 3, sorry. So that was the last game we lost. We didn't use Boseiju. It's gonna have a hard time beating a needle the bolt here. I think they actually have to chump with Sanctifier. And they can't bring themselves to do that. They have Path? No. Where's it? Hammer? It's Blacksmith skill. So I bolt the Sentinel. They take 4. They go to 1. But they don't have any Inkmoth Nexuses left. So I should be able to survive. Activate the Shadowspear. The Shadowspear doesn't matter. It's just a power and toughness thing here. Shadowspear doesn't stop the power toughness. I guess it was kind of the same as just bolting them, actually. Doesn't really matter. Because without the Inkmoth Nexuses, I think we're going to have a hard time losing. I guess they could just find their own Shadowspear. Portable hole on the Shadowspear, I'm assuming. Oh, just on the Goyf, okay. Doesn't matter so much, maybe. The Cigarda's Aid. If I'd attacked all, they'd be dead. Yeah, you're right. I should have taken more time on it. Pyrite any target. There's a needle on the Spellbomb. I just so many people coming in yelling about the Pyrite Spellbomb. It's so funny. Yeah, I guess I should have attacked with everything. I don't have triple red to cast the Seasoned Pyromancer. Yeah, you're good. You're just like the 5th or 6th person to come in and yell about the. I'm joking when I say yell, but spikes. They're at 1 life. Spellbomb them. Usually when you come in, you see a Pyrite Spellbomb, you see people putting out 1 life. Just like do a brief cursory glance to see if there's a needle in play. And we do manage to fly though, despite not playing perfectly. Probably would have lost also if my opponent had activated the Saga tokens, but we did get the trophy. It's been a while since we trophied. First league with the deck on stream too. I've been pretty excited about this list. I spent a lot of time testing it, tuning it, just kind of doing little tweaks. I'm glad I took the extra day because I was gonna play it yesterday. What is this card? Triplicate Titan, 999.